Okay, on the finalization Dart 325s, we come to the valve job part. Just want to go over this again because remember, if you get ahead from the machine shop and you look in there and you see this, you didn't get what you paid for. What I mean is, look, remember we enlarged this to a 2300. I would like to have went to 2350, but as you can see, if we'd have done that, it went off into the deck and there just wasn't enough seat left. So the main thing to remember is right there's the seat. There's a line and you probably can't see it, but this is hardened seat. Look at my pointer. All the way to right there is hardened seat. Now, if you take your finger and you roll across it, you can just see this enormous amount of material that just has to be chopped away. So what we're going to do right now, let me reposition us a little bit, get you a better angle so I can get in there to it, is I'm going to show you how much has to be cut out of there in order to make this work. Remember, we're going straight in for a dive. And we want to go inward at an angle that it starts to touch the aluminum. See how it's starting to barely touch the aluminum? That's your point that you want to start laying it back. Wow. Talk about humidity, buddy. It is bad here right now. Remember, you don't want to be too aggressive because you don't want to just chew on the seat where it can loosen it. The angle that I'm laying it back at, which is about 15 degrees, isn't going to hurt the crush of the seat in the head at all. All we're doing is taking that hump out . There comes the aluminum out. You can see that. All right. Now that's about what it's supposed to be. Let me see if I can get you some light on it. You can see there's a neat little circle where the seat's been modified, but I got a line drawn, which is my math, all the way to the 70-degree angle where it starts to make the turn, which means after this is done, I will have to go touch the aluminum, but once again, we feel no transition of the aluminum to the iron as it starts to make the roll in its turn. Alright, we'll turn around and hit the bowl side so you can see that. Long side of the bowl, and just watch how much that I cut it and how I taper it. Remember, once again, you just can't dig straight on because you'll lose the seat crush. But if you do it like this, it won't do it in a fashion that'll hurt it. So let's begin. Remember that you are digging into a piece. Look at my burr. Look how the top part of it's that aluminum and this right here is iron. You still have to go in there and dip, which I've done gotten used to it. Hell, I dip my iron ones all the time anyway. So let's continue on. Okay, now you want to start to pull downward a little bit, laying at an angle. Once again, not going straight down, but layering it back. Now one more dive forward. Now that's it. Now you're going to pull back and layer it. And basically what you're doing is you're forming a radius. You're forming a little bit of a radius to roll into where the line is scribed, where it turns into the 70-degree angle. And like I said, as you're sitting there blending it, it does form a radius. Then you can kick back and take your finger and you're like, wow, I gotta go back in here and move a little bit more aluminum. But like I said, you can't see it in the camera, but there's a line, kind of like scribing a line for the gasket that I go off of. Now, that's the kind of radius you need. You're not tearing the seat up. You go back, that kind of like bringing 2 points of a sawing end back and forth, and it gives it just a little bit of exit, which is going to make it bigger, a bigger bow. I learned this trick probably 16 years ago on an SF600, and I could not believe the amount of airflow numbers that it gives. Now you can go in there with special seats. And actually, I had talked to I believe it was Surdy about making me a cutter that would do it, but the hard part of it is with each diameter the radius angle changed. So it was going to cost me a buku amount of money to make a cutter for each individual thing that I used. If I'd done enough of them, I probably would do that, but you know, I'm old school. I'm a hand porter, and this is what I got. So it's my way of making it. Alright, well that right there is pretty much it. Now we're going to come back in a minute. We're going to look at the bowls that I have to reopen with aluminum. We're going to CC the left and right runner, and we are done.